I'm Mathieu Masson Duceppe. I'm 29 years old. I'm from Montreal, Canada, and I'm the executive chef at Jellyfish Crudo et Charbon in Old Montreal. I had the chance of always eating well. My mom was a great cook, my grandmother was a great cook. So very young I had a good palate, and that kind of helped me to continue my journey in cooking by myself. I had a couple of problems when I was young, so when I was working on myself, I had the chance of being responsible of a kitchen. Drug problems, rebellion problems. I always had my way of thinking, and it was only my way of thinking that it was good. And now I understand why in my type of character, you know, as being a chef, you're kind of a small artist in a type of way. So I guess that I was a premature artist when I was young, but now I understand my character and the problems that I had. Well, now I was gonna start making pasta. So tomorrow I'm making fresh pasta for the dinner. So I was gonna make cavatelli. It's one of my signature dishes actually. So it's a bone marrow and oyster mushroom ragu. So I'm gonna be making fresh pasta for that evening tomorrow. And today I pretty much have like 15 kilos of pasta to do one by one. So it's gonna take me a while, pretty much. I started cooking professionally. I was 16, 17 to be honest. I started at the Institute of Tourism and Hotellerie in Quebec. I did a course in restaurant management, and I figured out that cooking was what truly made me happy. And I could express myself, and it gave me adrenaline, and it gave me my freedom of expression and let me do whatever I want with food. And I kind of just never stopped since then, to be honest. My first kind of top meal was at a restaurant called Europea in Montreal. They are kind of an institution of high-end local product food. And I remember I went there and it was a kind of 12-course menu, and everything was hanging on cords and different things. And I was like, wow, this is so out of the box. And it kind of pushed me to go see why can't my brain do things like that also. So I got intrigued, and then it gets like a kind of a disease. You want to learn everything, about food, of what can you do. And it all pretty much started at school experiences, but traveling. At Jellyfish, this is my best seller. It's presented differently. So it's an avocado carpaccio, served with a homemade sesame wafu emulsion. I serve it with salted granola. So I do fried onions, I do black tempura, I do puffed rice, and I do dehydrated polenta. So it gives it a nice crisp, but you never know what you're eating, so it's kind of fun. You have different crisps and different textures and acidity and fatness of the avocado. It's a well-balanced dish. And then usually in Montreal, I just finish it with truffles or truffle oil or whatever, yeah. So this avocado dish, when I had a trip to Dubai, kind of with here, I went consultant in Dubai. And there they would bring me to eat everywhere. So I ate a sushi, and it was the most expensive sushi. And when I ate it, I was like, oh my God, this is so good. So I reordered 10 portions of that sushi to kind of make sure I remembered the flavors. When I deconstructed this, I came back to Montreal and I tried to create the same sushi. I am not a sushi master, it's not my big plus. So I ended up switching that dish 5 times. And it started with an avocado sushi, then it started with an avocado carpaccio, and I played with that carpaccio for other 3 dishes. And now to end up with this one. So it's an avocado carpaccio with wafu sauce, salted granola, truffles, and marinated mushrooms usually. I do my kind of, what I tell people here when they ask me a question, I tell them why not. So I mix mash everything. It's a mix of my travels and the countries that I've been. It's the contrast between the raw and the cooked. So everything that I cook in my restaurant is wood oven cooked. So some things are raw, some things are cooked. We always have contrast. Well, tomorrow I'm doing my classic dishes. So I have signature dishes that I've been working at Jellyfish. I will be doing the same dishes, but with Jamaican products. So I fell in love and I learned a lot of things here through my stay. And I would like to try and make them work in being my Jamaican jellyfish dish, pretty much. But it's the same concept, so it's raw and cooked. First course, we're having raw and cooked oysters. Second course, we're having raw fish and raw beef. But they're not all raw. Some things are hot, some things are cold. Third course, we're having vegetables. We're having the avocado. We're having a pumpkin dish that I do. We're having a tomato dish that I do. Then we're having the pasta. So with the local oyster mushrooms and bone marrow pasta. That's gonna be my fifth course. And then big meat and big fish. I'm doing whole braised oxtail. So I'm gonna kind of open oxtail on the table and decorate it. And then we're having whole fish baked in sea salt. I actually posted one of my dishes that I did for my restaurant on Instagram. And a friend of Elenie's saw my dish and sent it to her. Wow, this is a cool idea. And then Eleni wrote back thinking she was writing back to her, but she wrote back to me instead, by mistake. And then I answered, and this is how it all started. We started talking, we started, getting to know each other, and then she kind of invited me to come here and spend time and help and, kind of share my passion. And I said, yes, why not? So I arrived here maybe 3 months later on a big adventure, first time in Jamaica, and I'm enjoying it. So it all started with a beef tartare grilled cheese. That's pretty much how it started. Yeah. It's a pretty cool story, I find, actually. It's pretty funny. You see how the power of social media is kind of important, I find. Yeah.